Hello, and welcome to the Movie Universe. I'm your host, Movie Fan. Today, I'll be playing the game Goin Quackers on the N64. Now, as I'm sure you could tell by the cover, this is a Donald Duck game. I've always been a fan of Donald Duck, so of course I had to give this one a try. And it's actually a lot of fun. It's very simple, but it's a lot of fun. Here's how it goes. The game starts off where you see Daisy, who is a news reporter in this little scenario, is at the home of Murloc, the evil wizard. Murloc is building some type of machine, and Daisy's there. Murloc catches her, and of course Donald has to go save her. With the help of Gyro's machine, you have to travel around the world in order to get to Murloc's lair. First you have to go to the forest, then Duckburg, Transylvania, and then Murloc's lair. The gameplay is actually really simple, but before I get into that, let's get into the controls. This is the part that's so simple, even a 4-year-old could do this. And in fact, this game was clearly designed for little kids, so obviously, yeah, a 4-year-old could do it. All you really have to do is just use the joystick in order to move around, which is forward and back. I'm not kidding, that's all there is to it. And you push the A button to jump and the B button to punch. And if you push the A button 2 times, you do a double jump. And I should mention that you can do a jump kick, which is only useful for when fighting one of the bosses. You can also use the R button to see the items you've collected, but it's not that useful, because there's only like 4 items you need to collect, so it's not that important. Now that I've explained the controls, let's talk about the levels. All you have to do is jump into one of these portals, and you end up in a world where you have 4 little levels to conquer. What you do on these levels is you got to collect all the toys that Huey, Dewey, and Louie left behind, and grab all 4 pieces, which, when put together, teleports you to the boss. And the bosses are actually pretty interesting. On the first level, you got this giant chicken. The second one is one of the Beagle Boys. The third one is Magica Dispel. And the fourth and final one is Murloc. What you do is you have to hit the bosses 3 times and you win. And it's always different as to how you do it. Like the giant chicken, you have to get her to come down long enough to jump on her head. For the Beagle Boy there, you have to kick him in the butt, and he starts throwing dynamite at you, and you kick the dynamite right at him. Oh, don't worry, you don't have to aim, you just have to hit the dynamite. It'll go right to him. For Magica, you have to knock off a pumpkin, avoid her attacks, jump on these coffins, and hit a skull right to her. Of course, you have to go through that 4 times in order to get the skull to hit her. And Murloc, well, you just have to run and run and run, avoid the flames, turn on all the switches, which eventually gets him caught in an electrical field, shoot the fireballs he's spitting at you with that blaster, and then hit him in the talisman. And that's all there is to it. With all 4 places on every 4 level you go to, you get 2 types of screens to look at. One is your traditional side-scrolling, and the more common behind view. I call it that because clearly you're standing behind Donald Duck watching him move. As we all know, that was a very common thing for the N64 games. One of the interesting things about this game is you have to get the toys, but you can't just go and grab them. What you gotta do is you gotta hit a magic book that has Murloc's face on it, and then quickly get the toys before the time runs out. Just makes it a little more challenging. And you can only get hit 2 times. The first time you get hit, you go into that Donald Duck rage mode. You know the type, the kind of thing. And then if you get hit one more time, you're dead. But you can also find milkshakes, which give you a power boost and restores your health, by the way. And by power boost, I mean you run faster and you start swinging like crazy. It's a useful tool, it really is. It's a simple game, but it's a lot of fun. This is the kind of game that if you were new to the system or to video games altogether, this would be a good place to start, especially for little kids. Heck, I would say it's good for adults too, because sometimes you just gotta kick back and play a simple game. So if you ever come across this game, get it. Believe me, it's worth playing. This is Movie Fan, signing off.